All right. Let's start. Welcome back. Excuse me. All right, so yeah, welcome. We're building a. Well, I'm building a game, a Metroidvania, and I'm also building a game editor that will help with building the game. And yeah, I'm also learning, programming with Zig and game development along the way. And so I think last time we did something. Yeah. So last time we actually did these properties. So here we have a scene, and then we also have a button here. And if you select the button, you see we have like different properties. So you get a property, and then if you expand this, you get the property here. You can't see everything, but it basically keys activates. The type of the property is entity reference, so it means that this button has a property that references another entity in the scene. So it's this entity right here. Now we don't really see which entity it is. We see the ID here, but we don't have a way to actually see which entity it is. But what we did last time was we implemented this set entity thing. So you can click on that, and then you get this set entity interface. And so you can choose. You can go. You can choose the scene here, and it's gonna default to the current scene that you're editing. And then you can click on an entity to be able to like select that one. And you go over here and you choose this one, and then you can see that this is a door, and the ID of the entity is here, 317. Oh, it's actually different here. Oh, that might be a bug. But if we accept this, it actually says B8B here. Okay, that's a bit weird. I think maybe this is like the entity type ID then. Because if we go, let's say we go to, so I'll see, does the zoom work? No, the zoom doesn't work. Okay, oops. Where's the correct zoom? There. So you can see this one is 8FB. So let's check, because we have another one which is the same. So that they share a type. I think this is the 8F. Let's select this one first, and then go. Yeah, 8FB. So this ID is not the entity; it's the entity type ID. So that's why it's different there. But this is what we did last time. And so now what we want to do is we want to go. Excuse me. We want to go and check. Yeah, let's fix that issue first and foremost. So this is the correct entity reference. However, when you look in here, then this is not correct. So let's check that out. Okay, so here it is, and let's see, get name. Yeah, get ID. So this ID is the wrong ID. We want to get the entity ID. Or why am I not getting the thing? Is my LSP word here? because we don't know. Okay. Well, this is a scene document. Okay. I'm just doing that to get like LSPs. Wait, what does it say? Unknown. Is it crashing? Let's restart here. I think it's because it's trying to read the context, and whenever the LSP reads the context, this type is like this. The file that this type comes from is like it. The LSP just it has some sort of disease that it can't handle that. It's allergic to that file, so it just crashes. But now we get a bunch more things here. So entity ID, yeah, we have an ID there. So okay, so now we should see the entity ID and not the entity type ID, so we can see that it's like different. Yeah, entity source. Right. Now let's try this again. Yeah, and now we get B8B. Yeah, now we get the same idea. And if we go here, we can see now it's like a different thing here, FA2. And over here we have AF2. Yeah. Okay. Whoops. Yeah. So that's what we did last time. That was like the last step to get the properties like fully sort of implemented, where you can create. So the first step is that you go to the entity type of the button. And this is where you create the actual like base entity, so to speak, base entity type. And here you can define what properties should exist on the entity type. As you create those properties here, you can set the type and the key, and you can add more properties if you want. Once you have that, and then you go to your scene, which is over here, and then when you create a new entity, you will have these properties that you can set, and the entity is one of those properties. And so one thing that I want to do is like I want to beautify this a little bit, prettify this a little bit. Like yeah, right now we're using like a tree view of this, which works, but yeah, I would like this to be a little bit different, but that's gonna be like way in the future, I think. Probably gonna keep it like this for until it's like a low-hanging fruit that we can do. But one thing that I would like to do is I would like to have a button that says that you can go to the entity in the scene, or at least go to the scene. Would be a nice button to have, so you can. It would be nice if we can actually zoom or pan to the entity as well and have it selected or something like that. So that would be nice, but it also would be nice to have like back reference or references that goes back to the thing. So if I think it would be good if we have the reference index before that, because then you can easily get all the references that is pointing to an entity. But it would be nice if you go here and then you can see, oh, this is connected to this one, or yeah, this is connected to this door, and you get like a special, yeah, all the referenced by or something like that, and then you can see, oh, there's a button here, and then you can click, oh, go to that button, and then you jump over here. That would be really cool to have, but I guess it's like just like these sort of nice things to have, which they are not necessarily like super hard to do, especially if we get our reference index working or implemented. And so let's say, I mean, reference index would just be like, let's say you have entity ID, a map from it. So I think we need a couple of them. Like a reference, like a entity ID to whatever, and then you get like a list of Or maybe you can have like the ID. One ID goes to a struct that has references, which are which entities are this thing referencing, and also then referenced by which entities are this is referencing this entity. So then you get both ways. So yeah, and that would be really cool to have. And once that's in place, then it's really trivial just to add this reference by here, and you can get that. So, and that would be really nice for debugging if you set up a weird puzzle and you don't understand what's going on, and you can easily see, okay, this one goes here, that one goes there, okay, I need to fix this, should go over to this one instead, and then you fix that. Yeah, let's I'm not sure actually what to do next. Let's go to our to-do here. And yeah, I did add some to-do stuff here. So I did add on asset inputs. I would like some more, like a little bit upgrade on those. So I added just in case someone actually goes ahead and clones this down, it would be nice to add some more like easy to use stuff. And I'm trying to move towards having a more generalized editor so that others can use it as well. It's not that I think that anyone is going to do it, but it's just like I don't want to close the door either. So I'm not like rushing towards getting a version out that is like super friendly and stuff, but I am moving in that direction. So we don't like just have it closed off forever and stuff like that, if for some reason someone would like to use it. But I am stating on the actual repo that it is not really meant to be used by anyone else. It's like, yeah. But anyway, it's not impossible either. So, but I would like it to be in the future, like when it gets more polished and stuff, and then it probably, if it gets that far, we'll see what happens. But yeah, at least I'm not like moving towards getting it more closed off. I'm trying to move towards having it more open for others to use. So anyway, yeah, so there's like, but it would be nice to have this sort of quality of life stuff, you know, for asset inputs. Like maybe you can double click it to go to that asset in the edit, like open editor for that asset if you want to change it or anything. Maybe you have a context menu where you can clear the input or do other stuff as well here, like opening the directory in the asset manager, like a shortcut for that, or a shortcut to open the editor via the context menu or something like this. So yeah, I did that. Here's the reference index stuff. So that's probably gonna happen sometime in the future. Here's like the undo redo stuff. I'm not gonna touch that right now. I know it's probably better to, I mean, we do sort of have a sort of like wait, like a, what do you call it, like a pattern for this, like an undo redo pattern. However, it felt pretty hacky the way I was doing it, and I want to explore like different ways of actually implementing an undo redo sort of structure to all the actions that you can do. So I'm not gonna do that right now. I think it's like it's a really nice thing to have, but it's like it's not really anything that I wanna focus on right now. Okay, and then we have multiple editors. Yes, tabs for each. Yeah. So context menu for the tabs on the top there for each document that you can close. This is just like, you know, quality of life stuff. Tile sheets and sprite sheets. So these are not really necessary either right now, because everything is like it's sort of, if you define your sprite sheets, or your sprite sheet is basically just a texture, and if you define them like you have everything in a grid and it's all equal size and everything, then that works really well. The idea is defining a sprite sheet, a custom sprite sheet would be that you have more control over what the different sprites are and their size and origin and stuff like that. Basically same thing for tile sheets, I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, tile sheets, the thing about tile sheets is like they are always the same, I guess. I can't think of anything right now that we have that would warrant for its own sort of data structure. It's just a texture with a tile size basically, and the tile size is like global for the entire project. So it's like right now it's like 16 by 16. It's hard coded, but that's also a plan. That's also true. So if we go down to project, I added this part here as well. So the project, yeah, I added all the things that we already have, like the structure and the functionality for it. You have create new project, open, close, and then you also have the project options, which we don't really have right now. So here's what I think we can add there. So a default tile set. So let's say you add a texture, which is the tile set, and that's your only basically tile set or whatever. Then you can set that as a default, and then the game editor will know that, and then you can, for example, when you create a new tile map, it's gonna set the tile set to that, or the tile, yeah, it's gonna set the tile set to the default tile set automatically, so you don't have to like do it every time you want to use the brush tool, which we have right now. I've actually done off stream. I actually implemented that the brush tool no longer has like a hard coded texture to it. You will have to set the tile set now from the list of textures that you've added to the project. So that's no longer. So basically nothing right now. I've removed everything that is like sort of hard coded from that section. The only thing that's hard coded right now, I think, is the tile size. That is the only thing that's sort of hard coded right now, I think. I guess the font, if you wanna like change that, it's like, yeah, because this won't really work on Linux, I guess. 1 second here. One second here. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so the tiles. So these ones, I don't. Wait, they are actually not used. We can remove those. Tile set path. Yeah. These are not used. The size of the screen, I guess. Maybe. Oh. Okay, I have to restart this. This one is, I guess this could be sort of changed as well. This is like, but actually I'm not sure if this is used either now. We can actually remove that. Yeah, because yeah, all the textures are like imported, and you just choose where you want them to be imported from. All right, and then let's see, we have top bar height. That one is used, yeah. Yes. Or this one. yeah. These are just like UI. So now the only thing is basically the font, which is easily changed if you clone this down and you just have an absolute path to your font. And then the tile size, you can also easily change that if you want a different tile size. So it's basically all fixed up here. These are the only thing that you need to change. So we can change these to your liking. UI stuff. All right. Okay. And I guess, you know, to make it sort of more friendly for others to use, you could add in my readme here, we could just add like if you want to try it out, you can change some settings in the source config file. And then we'll have, oops, zig, and yeah. All right. Clone the repo and run zig run. So I guess this is not 1, this is 2. I don't know, man. It's not, as I said, it's not really, I guess, ready for. I mean, it's not really like super user friendly right now, and yeah. But I'm just gonna, you know, have it here. If anyone for some reason wanna try it out, they can. All right. And what now? So yeah, yeah. I did this project options. Would be nice to have as well. We have a crash for deleting an animation that we can solve. Maybe it's not really that big of a deal. Well, it is big of a deal if you lose a bunch of work, I guess. But we also have these things like quitting with changes. This is actually kind of nice to have, especially if you have worked a little bit and you're not really sure which ones you have changed, you know. But that also implies that it would be nice to have undo redo for all things. However, before you actually do that, and the reason for that is like you have undo redo, you basically really know, okay, you actually know if there's any changes right now. However, one thing you could do is like just have a flag that is true or false for each document and says that it has unsaved changes. And as soon as you do anything, any action is gonna cause that flag to be set, and that you can do. But so that's something. But I have to sort of think about that for a little bit. Checkerboard background is like yeah, whenever you sort of maybe preview something like a scene or you show something. Right now we basically have, well, it's like the background of the whole application. It's shown as some sort of like gray background, and then some are white as well. So this kind of like a normal thing to add, to have like a checkerboard background instead. So that's just a super quality of life thing that is like, you know, all editors have that kind of checkerboard background, so it's like it's just to make it more, I feel like a more professional tool than it is. All right, reference in this, that's right, under redo, multiple editors, context menu, assets manager. So here we actually have like rename files, such a basic thing that we don't have. We have show error label on reference inputs when missing documents, selecting multiple files in the asset manager. That's also like some really basic stuff. Search bar is starting to get nice if we do. So you know what? I'm probably gonna, you know, stop. I want to stop focusing on the editor for a little bit. I've been saying this for a long time now because I've kind of caught in a loop here of just improving the editor and doing stuff. So we've done a whole bunch of stuff. I think basically before all this, we didn't have animation editor, we didn't have the more updated sort of scene editor and all the entity types and textures as documents. So all of those things were actually added, and I haven't worked on the actual game. So what I want to do is basically use the editor now to figure out, okay, where are the pain points, and I will add. There's probably going to be a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to add to this document that will. There's going to be like updated stuff. Like I'm going to update this document with everything that I've defined, everything that I find, oh, this would be nice to have, this is probably nice to do like this, we need to add this thing. So I'm probably gonna do something like that. And but yeah, let's see, yeah, tile sheet, sprite sheet. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this one would be nice to have as well. Yeah, so there's probably that. So what I want to do is basically I want to get more into. So I don't have a lot of time this stream. So this stream is basically I'm probably not gonna be able to do much, and I might have a meeting here soon as well. So. Let's see. So, but anyway, so what would we like to do if we just run the editor right now? And so we do have like some time, like the maps. Like let's say, oh, one thing that would be nice is to have like a map. Like let's say, because the editor, well, like once we have these two as like generalized entities and not like specialized entities, you could open target scene. You could actually make a map. Like the editor could automatically create a map of all the scenes that are connected to each other. So basically, if you have a scene that has at least one entity that is connected, that is referencing another scene, then that scene is connected to the other scene in some way. And that could be either with the button or with, so if it's an entity reference, then it's like a, you know, a loose connection, I guess it could be. But it could also be, well, I don't know, because the exits will be targeting this would be an entity, a reference actually. Maybe you can like give a hint that it's a strong connection. It's like a navigation connection or something like that. I don't know. But then the editor could actually automatically build up a map, and you can sort of go between the all different scenes. And it could even maybe render like the labels of each thing, and you can sort of open the map and you can traverse through different things. That could actually be kind of cool. It's automatically building like the map and stuff. But what I want to do, well, first off, I want to go over here and we can delete these things. And that one. There we go. It would also be nice to have a list of all the entities, because sometimes you don't really see the entities. We don't have like drag, select, and multiple select in the scene editor. We can only select like one thing at a time. It's really rudimentary right now. It's like very basic. You cannot even like deselect this. So that's actually something that we want to have. Let's actually write that down, because that's a good addition to the to-do here. So here's the scene editor. Also, these ones, do we want to just merge this in here? Yeah, let's just merge it in. So yeah, so let's see. Yeah, select entity. So let's add select multiple entities. Deselect entity. Move entity, move multiple entities, and delete multiple entities. Okay, so this is probably gonna come for free, basically. But yeah, that would be nice to have. And here's like the entity reference preview button to go to entity reference. We could also add like, but this is basically, the map is sort of project by project. So actually we would have like a scene map, shows all scenes and how they are connected, able to jump to scenes through the map. Okay, something like this. I don't know. It's just an idea. It's probably gonna be very hard to do, or maybe not very hard to do, but you want to have like, how would you render it? It would be nice if it is actually sort of spatially, but how would that actually be rendered? It's like, where would you put each scene in the map? It's like, maybe, yeah, I don't really, it would be nice if it's like spatially makes sense, that if the transition goes to the left, if the exit is to the left of the scene, then the target scene there is going to be to the left in the map as well. But yeah, that's going to be super hard to do, so I'm probably gonna not do that straight away. Okay, what else are we doing here? So we'll go to this scene. Okay, I'll go over here, and down here is this part. So this part is not really, I'm gonna open up my sketch for this section here. I made like a map. Let's see, can we get this thing working here? No, that's not correct. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that should be, well, let's just open up this, and then where is that thing? So I have somewhere what was it? What did I have? I forgot what I was searching for, so I'm just tripping through all the files here. Yeah, forest map maybe. Here we go. So here's like that. Not sure if you can see everything. Yeah, you can't really. You can see everything. So like that. All right. So here's like the forest area, and that's like the area that is to the left of the village. So here's the village, and then you go over here, and it's sort of marked out like what type of environment it is. So this is like at the ground level, like this part, and then you can go down underground and you get to this mound sort of thing. But there's like barriers here, and these barriers are meant to be marking like, okay, once you have the upgrade, you can go through here in some sort of way. And then you also have like secrets and stuff here, or like transitions to rooms and stuff. I guess I would like to have like a lot of secrets. Like I'll probably like put secrets in every room or something, in some way. Maybe not every room, but maybe almost. Okay, and then once you can go here, maybe you find something like a treasure or something in here. You can now traverse up here. I'm not sure what the ability would be right now. This is just a way to visualize, sort of make the map so that you have something to work with. So what I've done is I've basically done this part and this part, and then I started on this, but I've actually got stuck there because I don't really have a way. I'm not really sure what the ability would be, so I've just made sort of a white thing here, like white tiles. There's not really any detail down here, so it's not finished. And then this one is almost like it started. I started on this one, but it's not finished either. And then I have this one, which is all not finished either. Also about I don't really have backgrounds for everything either, so the backgrounds is like a different thing as well. So I'm not sure how I want to do with the backgrounds actually. If I want to have just the same background, or if I'm gonna change it out for each thing here, because that's not visible in the actual tile maps either. So maybe I could add that as like so you can add like a background for the tile maps. I don't know, but anyway, so that's basically how far I've come here. I'm basically trying to do sort of the sketchy part first now. So so this part is done sort of, but then this part is very sketchy. This is sketchy, and I haven't even started beyond that as well. So so yeah, maybe I'll because I don't know if I'm gonna do the sketchy thing first, just make the everything in a sketchy way first and then figure out how to do everything else. Or it's gonna be a pain in the ass if we, let's say for example, we wanna expand the room a little bit. I don't know. I want to keep everything the same or something like that. I don't know. But yeah. So the thing is, I'm not really sure like how to proceed. That's the problem. I guess I can just continue doing as I've done before. That the thing is, it would be really nice if I could like decide on what this ability would be, that you can like access more areas here. It could be anything. It could be double jump. It could be like drill through the ground. It could be some other mystical ability that enables you to do things that you can't do. And so now you can have access to all these different things. I think also we want to sort of leave open for future stuff, so that if you, for example, come back here and you have, because normally in Metroidvanias you see like these things everywhere that's like, okay, I can't access that, I don't have the thing to access that, and then you note that down in your brain, and then you go and get that ability. Oh, now I can access that, and you have to backtrack that back there to be able to do that. But then usually you also have no, like, to minimize the backtracking, you usually do that if you follow the correct sort of quote-unquote path, you usually end up circling around to those places as well eventually, and so that you don't actually have to do any backtracking. But I don't know, I'm one of those that actually likes to go backtrack and explore stuff. As soon as I get the thing, I wanna go back now. But some games, you know, they've thought about that, and people that don't like backtracking, and you can actually go ahead and do the main sort of like the main path, and you still get back to those places again. I played Super Metroid. I replayed Super Metroid some time ago, and I was like amazed on how good they do that. Actually, they do that in that game, and you sort of, if you follow the main path, you always sort of go back to where you were, but now you have more abilities as well. So now you can access more places. So basically go through the same areas a couple of times, but with different things, and you take different paths, and you can open different, like more stuff. But so that's why I'm thinking, like, I probably want to keep, not like fill everything out at a first pass, because if I get more abilities in the future where we also want to incorporate that into this area, then we want to sort of fill in the blanks at that point. So I can still sort of work on this area, but I will keep some stuff open for that, I guess, if I can. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know. But maybe I should just start working on some of the stuff here. But yeah, so I guess we can just like here, actually we do have a click action. We go to the actual time maps there. Okay, oh yeah, I want to delete this one. Yes, let's close everything down here. We don't really need to have everything open here. There we go. I just want to test this. If I close this down now, do we get any like memory leaks or anything? We've done a couple of things now. Okay, cool. And we can open it up and we get back to where we were. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's go there. Let's close that down. We want to go over here. So here's the first sort of, no wait, oh, we have this place as well. I forgot about that. Sort of like a little transition there into this part. Yeah, so we'll close these ones. And yeah, here, this is not like totally final, so that's why I'm sort of sketching out sort of how I want it to be. If we start to play this, oh, it crashed. Why is that? Error opening file not found. What? What is this? Scenes. But if we open up test village, that works. No? What? I'm pretty sure this has worked before. Okay, it cannot find this. So let's go to main. Oh yeah. So actually we probably, yeah. The file name should actually be relative to the project, and then the project directory is this. Yeah, the project directory is hard-coded, but that's fine. crash here as well. Yeah, so it can't open the relative file path, so we have to fix this. So let's see, where is this actually happening though? Can we see? So it's like after we load a bunch of stuff. So it's probably here. Yeah. So game has project directory, so we can use that. Probably just as a case of making it absolute. Yeah, if it's absolute, we're opening it absolute. Otherwise, we're doing current working directory. Okay. Actually, you know what? This is wrong. So this is not how we want to do it. So we want to open the project directory. Open directory. And the path is the project directory path. Flags is nothing, I think. Can this return an error? Yes. So we catch this error and we say something to this effect. If we can't open the project directory, then we can't really load the game. So error opening here, game project. Go. Alright, so then we have that. Now the file name is not going to be absolute, it's going to be this part here. So this will be project directory. Also we want to defer project directory close as well. Alright. What is this? Trim. Trim quotes. Is it because it's could be like quotes in there? Okay, whatever. File, project directory, open file, file name. Yeah, so that should now work. And even if this is absolute, then it's gonna work either way, because I think it says so here. No. Okay. Well, whatever. So yeah, file, error opening file. Sure. Let's see if this works now. No. Do we have any errors? Oh, wait. There. Expected. Oh, this needs to be a bar. Okay, alright, now it loads. Cool. Now we can once my controller is loading it. Oh, what the hell is wrong with the sound? Okay, something is very strange with the sound. Not sure what is happening here. That's very, very odd. Let's try and reload it, I guess. It's like super laggy. Huh. Okay. Not sure what the deal is with that. Well, whatever. It works loading the thing. I guess we have a new bug where the sound is bad. Maybe it will. Maybe it's like some hardware issue I'm having or something. I don't know. Yeah, it seems that my. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna deal with that right now. I think it's not in the game. It's another issue. Okay. Let's go back here. Okay. So, but now we can play this one. Okay. And you can see here, there's a lot of airspace here. Maybe this is a good place to introduce some sort of aerial enemy or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, some sort of wispy thing. Yeah, maybe. Evil wisp. Because this whole area is supposed to be this area is supposed to be like death and decay right now at the start, and then you defeat the boss and you're gonna be able, you're restoring sort of the area, and this area is not done at all. So this could be this could actually be already ready. And then, you know, we have areas like this where you can add secrets, you can add maybe another ability that you won't have to use to exit or to do the thing there. Here's this part where we don't even have a roof, so which corresponds to something. It corresponds to a hill. This is sort of a hilly area, I guess, but I'm not really sure what to put in here. And then over here we're gonna have entrance to the a giant tree that you're gonna go into. So you're gonna go into the tree, and that's where you find a upgrade and the boss and everything. And the tree is actually like half of this level. So maybe I'll just crack on and continue with that. I never actually remember which one of these is what. I think the yellow one is entrance, yeah. So we'll have the entrance over here, and this entrance is gonna be, key is right, the scale I think is 3, so this is where you enter, and then you have the exit over here. So maybe have the entrance there. And this is 3. Now I have to make sure that the entrance into the tree is the same size as well. So this would be left. It's not vertical. And then the target scene, we don't really have that scene yet, so I can't actually do that. We have to create it. So this would be forest, let's see, tree entrance, I think we have to call it. Let's create this scene here. Forest tree entrance. There we go. Alright, we also need to have a tile map for it. Forest tree entrance. Alright. Now this one should be a bit larger So let's look at how large is the hill. 71, 17. So this is this should be like at least as long. And then maybe twice as high or something like that. Something like this. It's a large area. Yeah, and here's what I talked about earlier. Like you can set the tile set now. So just choose the tile set there, and then we can set the tile which tile we want to use. I'm just gonna use the white label thing. Let's actually go and look at the previous scene here, the hill scene. So it's like 1 at the bottom, and then up. Let's check this. Yeah, 1 at the bottom and up there. 3, and then 3 size entrance. So it's gonna be bottom there, and then 1, 2, 3, and then there's the tree thing. And then I'm just gonna make, I don't know. We do have an exit to the right as well, except that's like to a secret or something. I don't know. And then there's like an area over here that is sort of cut off by the ability, and then you also have a way up like this. Okay, and we could actually set this to black, like everything over here. Now this is where I really would like to have a bucket tool. But this, oops, this will suffice for now, I guess. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, and then there's, I guess it's basically the same over here. This is gonna be, I'm not gonna bother with this. I'm just gonna close this off like this and have, so this is gonna be like more, oops. Okay, now I'm doing it in anyway. This sort of meditating work. Yeah, so the idea is that this is like the base of the tree. You sort of enter in this part. You can go up. You go up the tree like this. Over here is a or not a secret area, but this is like accessed with the sort of ability that you will get. Maybe this part goes up a little bit like this. I don't really know exactly. And then you can go down here as well. Something like that. And then you can jump like maybe over here. So the jump height is like, your height is 2 and then 3. So here is the maximum jump height. You can jump up like this. So each corridor can be 3 high, and then you can still jump on top of that. So we can still have stuff like this. So maybe something like this, and you jump up here. 1, 2, 3. And then, you know, you can have a back and forth here if you want. Up here, maybe you can do something like this. I don't know. Okay, so now you can go up here, climb up here. Actually, maybe, yeah, you go up there, and then there's a ceiling sort of here, and then here's the entrance to the next part. Okay, so that's actually maybe this could be sort of a secret, maybe down here or something like that. Okay, I don't know, but let's save that. Whoops, maybe. Oh man, accidentally saved here. I really should disable the history because I'm not really using it. I am using it like temporary, like when, like okay. The issue is here that we have undo redo. However, it's like extremely unoptimized. Each action that you do, like each time I click the button here, it's saving a snapshot of the entire time map twice. So one before I did the action and one after I did the action. It's like the simplest way to implement undo redo, but it's horribly unoptimized. So when I do a whole bunch of these, it's fine if we only have like a couple of them. You can see, okay, it still takes like a little while, but each of them saves the entire time map 2 times. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 2, so it's storing 12 copies of the entire time map in the history here now, and we have to serialize that to JSON. And since also another thing is that the tiles are stored in a very unoptimized way as well, so that also like multiplies exponentially almost like the complex or the sort of unoptimized nicety of this whole thing. So then I introduced this squash history button, so I press that, then it just removes the history, and then you can save, and it takes a very short amount of time. So that's how I sort of got rid of that problem, so to speak. It's not really gotten rid of, but it's like, it's not, yeah, it's I don't really need the history right now anyway. I could just, it's very simple to change, but it would be nice to have, but it's like I started implementing it, and then we came to this issue, so I just basically disabled it by introducing the squash history button. And really it's nice that you can, what I can do is I can actually have undo redo fully in the program, but what I can do is I can say, okay, we automatically squash the history once we press the save button. That would be something, because as you saw, once I added a whole bunch of this and I press save, it took like forever to actually save the thing. Whoops, but now I cannot. Okay, now I have to do this manually. Yeah, so that's that is the downside of that. But now we have this thing. Okay, so now we can go back to our tree entrance scene, and we can actually set the time map to the tree scene, which is this one. Okay, here it is. So let's save that, and let's add a starting point somewhere. Oh, it's offset a little bit. Man. Should we change that to, should we change this to be odd? Let's do 35. Oh man, now I have to, okay, but this is actually not that bad. You can see everything moved up, sort of. So what we could do, we can use the select button, and we can actually move everything down one step. Okay, and this is actually good because it's nice now that I have a little bit more room over here. I can actually fill this in really quick. So I do have actually some tools are really nice that I've implemented, like the scene, the select thing. I made that really trivial to fix, so that's really nice. Otherwise I would have to like redo this entire thing just because this moved down a little bit. Okay, but anyway, let's go back to the thing here. Now this should be fixed here. Yeah. So now what's happening? Yeah, so now I changed the key here to start, which is a magic word for starting, that starting point for the player. And here you can see now we can play in our new scene, and we can go up here, and you can see we barely make it up these steps here. We have to press the jump button all the way down, and then we get up here, and yeah, and this is like now we're outside the level, but we're gonna transition this to the next scene here. But yeah, and we can go down here, and we'll come back up here. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. We could add some enemies and stuff as well if you want. So we could add these guys, maybe these guys. Okay, let's add these, and then we can add one of you, maybe even two of them, and then maybe this. Now for this part, I'm not sure if I actually want this here, but I can add them here. I have a little rule that once you go down here, you shouldn't immediately get hurt by a random spawn here. So I'm not sure if I actually want these guys over here, but let's try it and see. So yeah, now we get these guys. Yeah, the audio is still like messed up. Oops. Okay, cool. So now we got some monsters in there, and we'll save. Well, it was already saved, so now we can, well, let's add the entrance to the other scenes here. Well, I can do this. So this would be the entrance here. Let's just do the same thing we did the other place. We just move it in a little bit, and then, hey, come on, this one, 3. Yeah, that should be fine. This key should be left, and this one should be right. And it should go to whatever scene it is. The hill? Yeah. Oh, why didn't it update here? Okay. Oh, there's something wrong with that. Okay, but that should be correct now. Okay, so now let's try that. Let's try if we can actually transition here. There we go. That works good. All right. I think I want to move this back a little bit so it doesn't spawn the first thing that's happening. Okay. Okay, let's just add, I guess, the next thing. Actually, no, I actually want to check why is this saying none here, because it obviously works. So I just want to check that. Let's see if there is some error happening. Yeah, we do have some weird stuff happening here. Are these leaks? Oh man, they are leaks. All right. I'm not sure if it's from the game or from, yeah, it's from the, or is it? Maybe not. No, it's not. Game editor. So it's the entrance key. Okay. So maybe the entrance key is not handled. Let's go scene persistent. Entrance key. Oh, that's the entrance. We got this the exit, yeah, here. So we are initializing it here. And we're cloning it there. Maybe it's like when we change it, but it's supposed to only be initialized once. Okay, I'm not sure why this happened. Drag payload. Oh, the drag payload. Wait. Layout scene 165. Okay, here we're initializing the exit as a drag payload. I see. Right. And here we're creating the thing. Okay. And here we're actually creating the thing. So here we're putting the payload directly here though. Which is the entity type, so it shouldn't like, they should all be covered. Yeah, this payload should all that should I mean that's initialized, and then so let's do an experiment here. Well, first of all, I want to just try this. Okay, yeah, no leaks there. But if you create an exit, this is an exit, right? No, it's an entrance. Okay. Well, let's try that also. Okay, that's no problem. We create an exit, then there's a problem. If, let's say we create an exit that we delete, is that a problem? Yes, that's still a problem. Okay. Well, at least we got some, I guess. Why did we get so many of them? I would expect it just to happen once. Scene entity type. Whoops, did I see? Yeah, is it going in here like a bunch of times? Is that the thing? Accept the for delivery, accept no refer, no problem. Auto expire, no cross content, no source, external source, no disable. Yeah, I think it's going in here like a whole bunch of times. I think what we'll do is we'll say if we don't have a payload, this is a pointer to a nullable. Yeah, so if the pointer is null, we do this. Okay. Now it's fixed. Let's see if we can actually put that there, put something in there, save it, go back, and there it is. Okay. Alright, so we fixed that. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so let's check now why this says none over here. So let's check that. That's in layout scene and asset input for scenes. Here. Now why? Wait, selected entity, not ID. That's not correct. No, it should be the exit dot scene ID. Okay, I think I recently changed this, so I must have missed that part. Just there we go. Now it says Forest Hill there. Okay. There we go. All right. So anyway, that's that part. Now I want to make the next one up here, but I actually think that I don't really have time anymore this stream, so yeah, I think we'll continue on just mapping out this place next time. It's not gonna be that much programming focused. I'm more focused on actually bringing, like, adding content and stuff, and I'm probably gonna maybe do more of that off stream. I think I want to keep the streams more programming focused actually. and yeah, we'll see what happens here. But I mean, it is supposed to be a game development log as well, so but yeah, that's gonna be it for this time. So yeah, see you later. Have a nice